Yeah, hey everybody, this is Ian from Mindful Marketplace, and this video is for those of you who are interested in creating a private podcast feed. You want to teach courses or offer members only content to your community, and you don't want to have to incorporate multiple learning management software systems or different apps and tools and tech. You just want a very simple, straightforward way of creating audio first content for your community. So, in this video, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to set up a private feed using a very cool tool called Podfan. It's Pod.Fan. And this is, again, ideal for those of you who are writing books, teaching courses, building niche communities, or even broadcasting members only content to employees or people in your orbit that you want to get exclusive updates about a given topic or niche or place of employment, etc. All right, so we are on the Podfan page now, and I'm actually logged in. So I'm just going to go into my dashboard, and we're going to add a podcast. And this is really, it's quite simple to actually do. There's no fee to pay. The only time you're going to pay Podfan is on a transactional basis. This means folks who are actually signing up for your podcast or your private feed, or who are donating or doing like a extra. Let me restate that. There are two options. There's offer a private standalone podcast, which is more aligned with my own business intentions on our Mindful Marketplace platform, where we're actually offering courses that are episodic in nature and that are being delivered privately just to a small segment of the populace, in this case our audience, versus a membership slash donation option for your public podcast. This allows you to sort of augment or improve or accentuate your public podcast, maybe with Ask Me Anything episodes or something that allows you to add to your public podcast in such a way as folks are going to want to donate or add, money to the mix to support your podcast. I probably said that in a pretty shitty way. So let's just move on here to offer a private podcast, because I think that's most salient and relevant to most of the folks watching. So again, I'm assuming you're an author or a teacher or a niche community leader or someone who has a newsletter and essentially wants to deliver members only audio first content. Right? So we're going to call this an example private podcast for Mindful Marketplace. Author is, let's say, Mindful Marketplace, Angela. I never spell her name right, which she doesn't like. Mindful Marketplace et al. All right. Email is mine, ianrhollander@gmail.com. Summary. This is a quick example of a private feed All right. I'm going to just copy that again. And, I mean, you would do this, you would make the description more robust, but in the interest of time, I'm not going to do that here. One thing I do want to say is what I found very helpful is always have a, 10 lessons or 7 lessons or 20 lessons or whatever it may be, but make it sequential, numerical, etc., so that you can really get a finite focus orientation. So it's not just ongoing ad infinitum. There is actually a numerical ceiling that you're building around your content, your course, and ultimately the cohort within your community. All right. Do you want it to be episodic, or do you want it to be serial? All right. So episodic is the default, setting. A serial would be chronological episodes. This is what I prefer insofar as you're delivering episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, but in the format of lessons, right? Because this is a course, not really a podcast, right? So again, just to make sure this is clear, the whole idea here is to deliver audio-centric learning content, right? So it's a podcast delivery mechanism for audio courses. So folks are going to be able to take your courses literally by dint of using their Apple Podcast or podcatcher of choice, and then they can interact with you in your community in whatever way is is how you deliver community using something like Circle, Mighty Networks, Buddy Press, anything. I mean, any membership style script that you can imagine. This works really wonderfully well for. All right, let's just continue. Here is the URL of our Podfan course. In this case, a podcast that I'm calling a course. So I want to make sure that our terms are clear. And here it is. All right, an example of a private podcast for Mindful Marketplace, 10 lessons, right? And here are your options. Now, this is really beautiful. The back end is really easy to use. Here's where you would start adding episodes. Here's where you would sign memberships, member updates. You can have a teaser video, a teaser audio that kind of sells or announces or introduces the core concept behind your course or your community or whatever it is that you're delivering via audio content. Here's where you'd make some changes to the theme. As you can see here, it just changes the colors. I'm just going to leave things as they are so we don't get into the weeds with somewhat irrelevant aesthetic information. All right, let's go to episodes. I'm going to add a new episode. Oh, my bad. New episode. Sorry. All right, choose file. One thing I would like if they did here was had a drop and drag where I could just drop that file like transistor.fm, which we're also using for some live stuff. This is just a test bed. Has that, which is really easy. It just feels more modern to allow me to just drop something onto the canvas. And this would be lesson number 1. And here's where you'd paste in some notes that are germane or salient to the audio lesson number 1. Right now, there are some interesting little hacks that you can do here that I've learned over time, not necessarily just relevant to this particular platform, but all sort of podcasting style, content creation. Use an app that transcribes the content, your audio content for you, and then just clean it up and paste it in here. So there's a service called Tape-A-Call that I use. I think it's $60 a year maybe. That actually has almost perfect transcription. So I'll record a call with a client or an interview for a podcast, and then you can take the resultant audio and have it transcribed right within the app. There's another app I just started playing with a couple days ago. Let me see if I can find it on my phone as I'm recording this. It's called, it's voice recorder something. Just search for it on the App Store. It's $1.99 a month. Really great deal. Also transcribes your audio, and again, that has tremendous SEO benefit, and it has tremendous listener or course cohort benefit as well, because you're actually serving up the text in addition to the audio content. Now, if you're delivering something like this on Circle or Tribe or Mighty Networks or something like that, again, you're going to have all the interactivity that comes with that as well. So you're actually really able to deliver some super, some really great audio, lesson. I'm saying this badly again. You're able to add your audio to other elements of your course that really kind of flesh the whole thing out. Not flush it all out, flesh it all out, which is a distinction with a difference. All right, so after all that is said, all I really should have stuck with here is all right, I could have just typed that and saved you all that gibberish that just came out of my mouth a moment ago. All right, and we're going to call this episode type full. You have trailer or bonus. We're going to do season 1, episode 1. We're going to publish it. And there you have it. Guys, don't bark, please. Come here, Ziva. And there you have your first lesson, right? Which is playable right here on your landing page, but it has a permalink, so you can see that there. You can send people directly to this landing page. You can fill out the about, right, in a more robust way. Let's go back here. Actually, let's go home. Okay, let's go here is where I want to go. All right, so now let's do this. Let's generate a test feed. And this is now going to give me a private link that I can literally subscribe to on my phone via Apple Podcast Breaker, iTunes, Castro, Overcast, Podcast, Pod Hero, Podcast Addict, etc. All, via a one-click copy on my phone, right? So I could literally have a subscription to this podcast via this private link that quickly if I was doing this on my phone. All right, while simultaneously also being able to offer your members the ability to just access the content right here as well on this dedicated landing page. All right, member updates. All right, gotta set up memberships first. So this is where you're creating your tiers, and you're going to say this is $10 annually. All right, let's do it monthly. So they're going to take out for every $10 sale, it looks like about 59 cents. Right? Pretty damn good. So you're getting 10, Podfan's getting 59 cents, and you're publishing all this for free. All right, so this is, let's call this the $10 a month plan. All right, so we just filled out a little description of what they're getting for $10 a month. Here's the thank you message. Here's a 7-day free trial that you can enable. All right, so people can actually get this for free to test. And let's, thank you message will be emailed. Thanks so much for signing for. All right, so they're going to get this via email. Let's save this. Did I fill everything out? Why is that not working? Must be released 50 for annual and look the members feed. Well, that is. Why is that not? Let's just make this easy. That should have worked, but I don't want to waste your time to see if I misread anything in that section. And there you go. All right, $100 a year, $10 a month plan. You'll get this course in addition to it. Right? You can edit this, which of course I'll do later. You can create another tier now. Call it the $20 a month plan, etc., etc. Right? We're going to skip this in the interest of time. Let's go back. You can fill out your host profiles, updates. Now we'll accept updates because there's a tier, and you would say something like lesson number 1, bonus notes, and ask me anything. All right, so now we have an update. We're going to click on this. We're going to save it. There's a permalink, right? And it's also going to show up on your page. So now you have home, you have the sign up here, you have the about, you have the episodes, which is just one, you have the updates here. And this quickly, I'm now 17 minutes into this. I have a private podcast that with a decent looking landing page that is available for subscriptions on a phone, any phone, right? That has a podcast catcher that will accept this RSS feed. I have some, extra content here available, and they can also, for folks who don't use podcast software, they can also get all of this right here, right? They can just come to this page, and as you can hear, that audio, I'm just going to stop it because it's not relevant to this particular video, so I don't want to play that. But, it's just an MP3 that I recorded for a client. All right, which in this case, just to load an MP3 on into the software so that you could see what that would look like. Okay, that's really it, and it's really that simple. And if you're writing a book or teaching a course or building a community, and or you have an existing public podcast, this is just a great way of augmenting, improving, and extending your your content in some pretty cool and creative ways. All right, so there you have it. That's Pod.Fan for those of you who want to check that out. And if you have any questions about building courses, teaching courses, building communities, creating content, and all that good stuff, send me an email, hi@mindfulmarketplace.com, or leave me a comment if you're watching this in our community. As always, I'm happy to help. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful night.